Hey Spuddies, Potato Big Whiskey here, and welcome back to Age of Wonders 4. In the last video, we had managed to conquer quite a bit of Gareth Fisher's land, and we had just entered into the ability to pick tier 3 tomes. Now, I want to get the Tome of Prophecies, or even the Tome of Sanctuary, because it would be really nice to have all of my units get like status protection, spirit resistance, gain steadfast and pacified, as well as faithful. The Sanctuary is a really useful ability too, because it makes pillaging provinces in the terrain a lot slower. But I think we're going to go back for the Tome of Virtue. I want to see what these paladins can do, so I'm going to go ahead and unlock the Tome of Virtue as we move towards the late game. Now, I definitely want this Virtuous Spirit minor transformation, but I also want the Summon Vigil and the Paladin. So I'm going to lock in the Vigil, and I'll start the research of the Virtuous Spirit. My capital city finished its Masonic Hall, which means it has a really strong production line. So I think now is a good time to start the tier 3 monument. I think it needs one more monument level after that to get to the next level of it. Obelissium finished its farming building. We could build a farmers guild in here, and it's honestly not terrible if we wanted to have like infinite mana, because that we convert our domain ability, destiny and nature here, convert surplus food into mana. So a farmers guild is honestly really good. So I think I might grab the farmers guild in there just because I think it makes a lot of sense. Oratorium is now a tier 3 city as well. We could build stone walls in order to protect the city slightly better. I will build those stone walls. I think having strong defenses, it gives me an extra turn to get over there to protect the city. My ruler has leveled up. I don't know if we necessarily want the grace. I think being able to inflict weakened with this guy would be really useful. So he's going to inflict weakened to everyone who's adjacent to him when he starts or ends his turn. I don't remember. We can create new bounties, all this sort of stuff. Nothing we worry about. So Harrington can build a new building. I'm going to grab the Forester right there. You should be able to expand underground, although not just yet. It might be nice to build the Academy. Yeah, I'll grab that Academy in here. That's going to be an extra 20 knowledge. It's not a ridiculous amount of knowledge, but every little chunk of knowledge adds up. In Oratorium, I think it would be nice to start recruiting a few architects where possible. Those are my tier 3 faction, my sort of racial units. I think it would be nice to have a few of those kind of just popping around to add to our armies. Berkshire will be vassalized in 3 turns. This guy's considering war with me, which I don't love. I'm going to move my faction leader out. I'll move him up into this neutral territory where he'll regenerate health slightly faster. This army here is recovering. I wonder, do I recover Yeah, I recover pretty fast inside allied territory. So I'll take a nice quick road over to here. Oh wow, I found a hidden army. It's like a quest army. I'll try and get an army over here to protect Berkshire, because even if a single unit got in there, they would conquer it back, which obviously we don't like. I may force march a scout unit there. I know that sounds like a mad idea, but with summons, we could probably win a battle against a very basic set of units. In Thermopolis, I'll recruit a Shademaker and a Guardian again, trying to keep those units flowing through. Let's step you outside of the territory. We definitely want to get a unit to step on the Spelljammer. So I reckon if we summon a Lesser Spirit here, we can get him to step on that Spelljammer, which will disable it for the foreseeable future. Just so when we go fight in Floren, we don't have to deal with that Spelljammer. And then I suppose what I'll do is I'll cast another Faithful Whispers to capture the relationship with the other city-state a little bit quicker. Thermopolis can annex another province. It's going to have to be underground, sadly. We're getting a lot of quarries. Not ideal. We'll eventually want to like break these mountains down or figure something out. The quarries are nice because they do technically speed up the productivity of certain things. But yeah, we're slowly inching our way towards our enemy. Now remember, we're constantly fighting at a significant disadvantage in terms of numbers and economy. In fact, I would be surprised if I were to click on my leader here, go into the diplomacy screen. Like, Mort Oriole is the strongest man on the map. He's the 3rd strongest military. I'm the 6th strongest military. So that, like, imagine how powerful and how much ahead, like above my pay grade, my armies are punching in this series, right? I'm only the 3rd strongest guy on the map. And this guy, whatever his name was, Gareth Fisher, he wasn't even that. Oh, Jesus. So I wasn't expecting Chaox Heaven Sent to get here to fight us. This is terrifying. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tier 3 units plus 2 heroes against 15. We're down a lot of units. Like, if we were to auto combat this is like absolutely game over. So we're gonna have to fight this manually and try to get a big advantage. So things we need to be worried about. These liege guards have a sworn bond. And a ton of health. Jesus Christ. It's 140 health we need to chew through. The monks are highly mobile. The autumn fairies can inflict AoE blind. That's kind of bad for us. The glade runners are going to do a lot of damage. I think this might be a map where we have to summon a beacon for the morale and the sustain. Okay, you can mending touch this guy. We will link with this guy. You can drop a heal on him. You can mending touch yourself and link with this unit. Bringing these archers over. Get me a mending touch on my hero, plus a link with the hero, honestly. Then get me a link with this knight. The next turn we'll set up the beacon that will provide us with the AoE healing and the morale bonuses. They even have bronze golems. They have so many things that are terrifying. Okay, so let's figure out where and what our front line looks like. Well, our back line is probably going to be support units along here. We'll get those archers nestled. We want to conjure the divine beacon right there. So the front line's going to look a bit like this. When we divine beacon, we'll hit this whole army with health and morale. That's the dream. All right, let's see what they do. Big old bolstering, hard to kill block of units. Here comes the nice heal and the morale. We're already plus 10 morale. I mean, I'm willing to just chillin', so I'm gonna just chill. I don't think we have. I guess I could mending touch yourself. So now we're at full health, bolstered resistance. He's in the middle of like buffing himself to like crazy degrees. There you go. Another heal. I'm gonna just chill. I don't have a reason to leave my incredibly strong fortified position here with the divine beacon. So just gonna chill. Oh, that was big damage. Okay, I'm gonna pull you back a tile, step you up a tile, heal this guy and link him, push you to here. We're going to drop the divine beacon. So now we're on high morale. Let's get a condemning blast on you. Shoot our bows. Keep shooting. Could get an AoE attack, but I think single target's more important for us. Take that 25% chance. Give me a 25%. Give me an AoE. Perfect. We got a kill. None of our units are dead. You go ahead and shield bash this guy. Then you're in a defense mode. Make sure you're facing the correct direction. All right, so you are here. Can you do a decisive command on this archer, who will then shoot this ghost wolf? Then I will snapshot and regular shot him, doing serious damage. You just shield wall. I don't want this knight to be singled out. Yeah, our fortified position is holding. So looking at the current status, we managed to get a kill. There is an umbral juggernaut we need to worry about. We're on very high health. We're also on high morale. So let's see if we can keep that. That extra crit chance will add up. All right, he's doing a heal. What else is he doing? Yeah, he's coming up. He's going to try and get some damage in on us. And the hope is that we can avoid most of the damage thanks to overlapping defensive buffs. I'm a little bit worried about Nabocles the Bulwark getting killed. We do have the economy to resurrect him pretty quickly if he does get killed. Some of our defense modes are getting cancelled. AoE damage is happening. I'm worried about this hero getting killed as well. I probably shouldn't have had him so close to the front. Nabocles isn't as tanky as I had hoped. He does have 13 defense, but he seems to be taking just so much damage. I think it might be his inability to resist magic. Okay, here comes a big heal. You should have a heal refreshed. I think it's important that we kill this wolf so that this lesser light spirit can step to here, minor mending touch you to restore health, and then do its major heal on this hero in the center. So that's a victory. We definitely want to try to kill this guy. Do 57 damage with you, 48 with you, plus this. We can poison blast this guy. Okay, let's poison blast. I will soften him up. We'll hit him with this archer. Not a perfect one, but then I think this charge attack. No, it'll be the hero. All right, let's do Warrior's Fervor. You soften this guy up. Perfect. Now he's dead. Can you get a charge strike in here? Beautiful. We can get some more kills, I think. 1, 2, 3. Get that kill right there. Beautiful. Now we're looking at the situation. We've killed 4 units and lost none. Our formation is starting to break down, but not in a way. It's not in a sort of deranged, oh god, we're, you know, our lines are falling apart. It's in a calculated, we're preparing to counterattack. Okay, I think we might be able to get another kill, and every kill we get will lower the morale of the entire enemy army. All right, perfect. So now I can pull you back or just do damage with you. Problem is with you being so far forward, if this guy attacks you and this guy attacks you, you're dead. So I'm going to pull you back to a slightly safer position where you can then take a shot. All right, so my Nabocles the Bulwark still has an action. We've killed 5 units. We're definitely turning this battle on its head based on the starting conditions. Nabocles is still my most vulnerable target as far as I can tell. Like, the enemy has decent 2-hit chances, and he's also up against 3 potential enemies. So I think a defense mode on him would significantly increase the amount of tanking he can do, and he has been doing an amazing job. I'm also going to do a resilient incarnation to get all of those beautiful, this effect here. They get +1 defense and resistance, and an additional defense and resistance per stack of Affinity Incarnate. So that should be 4 defense and 4 resistance. 1, 2. Oh, maybe it was actually 5, or maybe that is because he's linked. I think it's because of the link. Yeah, it should be just a few, but perfect. All right, here comes his war banner, so he's getting a little bit of healing and morale. Our morale is maxed. I may lose this light spirit. I would like to keep the light spirit if I could. A pretty decent unit. I do like to see my enemy fumbling. We have brought their morale down to the point where they have a 20% fumble chance. So yeah, the beacon, the divine beacon is crazy good for holding position. I really don't want him to die. No, I wanted him to live. He was such a good spirit. He did so much healing. What a legend. It does get me a stack of grace, which makes it harder for the enemies to push through us. All right, we could get the kill on this unit, and we will. That will disassemble the enemy's front line, also getting us more stacks of strengthened. Charge strike in the back on this fairy seems pretty good. I'll step forward with you. Get yourself a couple of attacks in. Push forward with you. Keep attacking our enemies. Can you get me a big chunk of damage on him? Yes, you can. Now let's get our... get another attack off. Get this kill. Beautiful. So if I step 2 tiles, I go from a 25% to a 65% chance to hit with 2 attacks instead of 3. Ugh, that sucks. I was hoping for slightly better. Perfect. And now we can get another kill. The enemies are going to be super fumbling and crumbling. We've used up most of our actions over here. This guy is a slippery foe, so he should be able to get out. And I think we'll snapshot and then regular shot this guy, because if we get the kill, it puts us in a nice position. You get that kill? Beautiful. And then 3 attacks on this guy will soften him up for next turn. Perfect. So assessing the battle damage we've done to our enemies, we have managed to make things even in terms of combat score. But we started with 3 less units than them, and we were hurt. So I think our strategy of rallying around the beacons has worked incredibly well, just partially because of the amount of health and morale that they provided. I also think our build is just generally good against their build. Lovely. Great kill. Yeah, one of our heroes has taken a decent chunk of damage, but we'll be able to get some healing on him, so that shouldn't be the end of the world. Enemy morale is breaking. We've already got a broken unit. Can we get this kill? Hopefully that'll break some more. Yep. Almost the entire enemy force is broken with the exception of this hero and this hero. He's fleeing as well. Can you give me a mending touch? Can you kill this guy? Come on, he's got to be close to fleeing. Step up, melee strike 1, 2. Then can you do a decisive command on him so he can get another 3 attacks? Beautiful. We'll step forward with you. Can we get the kill? He's not quite fleeing. He's ready to rout. Let's taunt him. Okay. Let's blast this guy with as many shots as we can, just because we have archers in the area to get the damage off. So every shot has a pretty damn good chance of being a critical, because our crit chance is pretty equivalent to our hit rate. See if we can't get a couple crits on this guy to get him to flee as well. Not quite. Zip forward. Trying to get them to flee. They're definitely fleeing. Okay, now he's fleeing. Perfect. The only one who isn't fleeing is Tanja the guide, because he has just enough morale to hold on. No, he's fleeing now. He's panicked. The enemy is fleeing the field. I'm going to let them flee the field. That was a pretty successful battle. We lost only a lesser light spirit. It was a little bit leveled up, but not much. We picked up a whole bunch of experience on our heroes. 8, 10, and 8. Our units grabbed 8 experience. This was a great battle for us. We were definitely fighting above our pay grade. And hopefully that just kind of shows you how good we can be. So we got the Bleeding Blightbringer. Now that's a great one. I'm going to take that. I think that could fit on some of our units. Desperate plea of Thessal of Mortadri of Pensatorium. Thessal is losing their war to Chaos. So I could denounce Chaox and gain allegiance with Pensatorium. I can discreetly send them mana. I'm going to give them a relief package, because it's a good character alignment thing. I'm also going to do a Rally of the Lieges in Pensatorium here. Actually, it's probably a good idea to do this. I definitely feel like this Rally of the Lieges screen needs a rework. Like, do all of these different fairies need to be listed separately? I don't know. So I'm going to reinforce my vassal Pensatorium with these units. I'll send it off on their next mission. It's a way for me to convert gold into sort of passive armies running around the map. I also want to cast more Summon Lesser Light Spirits, and I'll cast Faithful Whispers on High Ridge so that we get their relationship to max a little bit sooner. It'll shave a few turns off that. Not a huge amount, but it will shave a few. These guys have some Druids of the Cycle. Berkshire will convert in 2 turns into a Vassal. Can we kill this stack without too much trouble? We get another army in range. No losses. Perfect. Now, I believe my leader's ambition is a full army of legendary rank units. So if I have a few legendary rank units around, I could pop them into his army to, I guess, kind of like cheese our way to that. Yeah, you stay standing on that Spelljammer. That's your job. I'm going to send these Shade Makers to go reinforce my armies. Oratorium has built its walls, which is ideal. We could start thinking about... Well, I guess it would make sense to build even more defenses, right? Like, we've got affinity obelisks. I mean, this would pretty much just max out the happiness and food of this city, which would be sick. I wouldn't mind getting the Masonic Hall for the extra 20 production. It'll speed up all future buildings, so that's what I'm going to do. Nakon of Mortadria has leveled up. Last time we picked up foraging training. I think now we're going to pick up the extra hit points for his army. That'll help them survive. Plus 10 hit points is basically like getting an extra rank. We can recruit another hero. Let's see, we got a Fearmonger, we got Dominator. I wouldn't mind getting a warrior. I don't have a warrior just yet. So let's grab him. He's also a human paladin with the Demonkin transformation. So let's get him into our team. He has a tier 3 Vengeful Spear, which has extra retaliation attacks. Do I want to switch him out for one of these other ones that I have? Maybe not. I think it would be good for him to make him harder to hit with ranged attacks. We don't have any other equipment we can give him. One thing I do want to do is probably reset his skills. I'm going to give him Initiative Order, but I'm going to give him Zealous so that he has Zeal. He's going to be more of an offensive hero. He's going to be a Berserker, not a Knight. He's not going to use charge weapons, so we'll make him a Berserker. Let's have a look here. When the unit lands on attacks, it gains a stack of Strengthened, Crit Chance, Sundered Defense, Execute, Critical Momentum, Reckless Rage. I do like the idea of sundering enemy defense. I also like the idea of just picking up good melee stats. Like, take Second Wind for the self-heal and the mobility. Take melee attack damage. Take the Cleaving Sweep. The extra 10% damage. It's a question of, do we want to get Will Breaker, where he increases the morale penalties of enemies when killing enemy units, inflicting Weakened and Remorse as well? Or do we want him to be a War Seeker, where he'll get extra damage and hit points from fighting? I think I like the idea of Undying Warrior because it allows me to play incredibly aggressive with these units. So I'm going to go for Frenzy, Keen Edge, that'll give him crit chance, and then when he makes crits he'll heal, and when he kills an enemy unit he'll get even more crit chance, and then he becomes basically invincible. So as long as I win the battle, this guy will always come back, and this allows me to throw him into incredibly dangerous situations to get kills, which is a surprisingly valuable ability. I'm going to take Benevolent Conquerors, so vassals will have higher allegiance levels when they're first conquered, and converting vassals will go faster. I wonder, does that actually speed up Berkshire? No, it won't, because I think it's when you press the button. So let's see. Mort Oriole is asking me to become his vassal. I'm going to go ahead and tell him decline. Bythel Tarbinder wants a Wizard's Bond. Again, I'm going to take a relationship if I can get it. And I think that's fine for now. It was a good set of turns for me, I feel. All right, let me cast another Light Spirit. I need to kind of replenish these armies, even if they're with relatively weak units. I'm going to get this army to put this city under siege. We'll do Harass the Defenders plus Tower Bombardment. That's like the classic pair that I like to do. We're going to go underground and prepare to fight Eastwatch. We should be able to get there next turn. Abyssinium isn't recruiting anything. Shademakers and Guardians, those are going to be our mainstay forces. Ooh, lovely. There's Virtuous Spirit. We'll start casting that next turn. I'm going to go ahead and get started on being able to summon Vigils. Harrington has produced a academy. This definitely feels like the city that could be the research city. So like an abbey plus a scholars guild. We have the Pavilion of Prophecies. Could be nice to have a Spelljammer. So for that reason, I'm going to build a abbey and a school of cryomancy in here so we can get the scholars guild. Something I would love to see the developers do is to expand upon this empire development thing. In particular, what would be cool is if the books you chose would add nodes to the trees. So like if I take a shadow book, maybe you would add an extra node on like here that's like in between these two, you know, like I think that would be kind of a cool idea. Like that was, I think this thing is just, it's too samey in between each game. So it'd be kind of interesting if you added an extra dimension. I don't know, that's just me. So next turn we'll be able to put Eastwatch under siege. We'll get some more lesser light spirits. As much as I want to cast Virtuous Spirit, I think I need to replenish these armies. Berkshire is now mine and is owned by a vassal of mine. So let me go ahead and pick up another Whispering Stone that I can give to them to start boosting that relationship. We did get our hands on some focus crystals, which is nice. That's going to give us extra experience. Brimfang has a wizard bond for us. Sure. It doesn't cost me anything to take that as far as I'm aware. Harrington is ready to build a building. Let's get the School of Cryomancy. And then we'll start the Scholars Guild in here. I'll call that the end of my turn. God, I have so much mana to play around with. It's like genuinely mad how much mana I have. So these guys are likely going to strike somewhere else, but I'm going to put his city under siege, take away his seat of power. I am going to add harassment to the defenders, onagers, make sure these armies are overlapping, protected. I need one more lesser light spirit to fill out these armies with conjured reinforcements. You know, you got to use up the slots that you're given. This guy's chilling on the Spelljammer to make this siege easier. I've got reinforcement stacks to help with the attack on Floren. Brimfang has been sent to the thing. He's cast Prelude of Doom on me. Oof. A free city can be integrated. That's High Ridge. High Ridge is now a flourishing vassal. They're going to give us all of their resources. We've got new rallies. Oh man, here's the Horned Gods. God, I want to recruit this so bad. They're expensive to maintain, but man, are they good. Might be better to get the Entwined Scourge. All right, we're ready to take Floren. So let's get in here. Hopefully this will be an easy auto combat. If I lose more than 2 units, a single unit loss is fine. I don't need to fight every single battle manually. We're going to vassalize this because we are the paragons of virtue and goodness, so we do not raise cities if we can avoid it. We prefer to vassalize. That is our ideal strategy. Okay, we've got the lesser light spirit reinforcements. Let's go ahead and begin casting Virtuous Spirit. That's going to take a few turns to cast, but it will be valuable once finished. I have another army stack that I can start sending out now. Floren is ours. Obelissium got its Farmers Guild, which should give us an insane amount of mana. We could build a really nice abbey. I'm just wondering, can I switch some of these to farms? I could switch you to farm. I can transfer you. It really annoys me that I can't like transfer territory from my vassals to my capital city. Like, bro, you're my vassal. Like, let me spend allegiance, you know? Like, what if I really want this mana node? It's highly valuable. I want it for myself. You want me to annex this? 360 plus an extra 500. It's like 800 Imperium to annex this. Like, it's very, very expensive. I feel so constrained, man. Okay, coming into Oratorium. I wouldn't mind if this was slightly better defended, so I will build the Ballista Towers. I like money, so I'm going to grab the Mint. We do have access to the Druidic Empire, which is an extra 100% food in our cities, which is really sick for the kind of build that we went for. So I really do want that. You want me to capture Forn Dusk? I will not be going for that just yet. Obelissium would like to build the Abbey. And the Herbalist, honestly. So where does the Abbey go? I think it goes right here. This will be 19 science. We lose 2 food and 3 production, but that's not a big deal. I think the Abbey is worth it there. Then I wouldn't mind getting a Herbalist as well. And there's a couple of decent spots. There's like a good Herbalist here. There's a good Herbalist here. So I'll pop it right there. I'll keep the city busy for a little while. In Thermopolis, we probably should build our Wizard Tower. This is way later than I would normally build my Wizard Tower. But we have built the Monument 3. I can't believe this guy's still occupying my pasture. What a jerk. And so now we just need to save up for the Monument 4 Apex, which is going to get plus 10 city to all incomes. It's going to be really, really nice. All right, that should be the end of the turn. We move on now. Orders required. So, Parade of the Grand Architect. Harrington have organized a parade, so I'm going to get a bunch of money. We can get a bunch of draft. We can get a bunch of food. We can get a bunch of production or a bunch of Imperium. Imperium is like so incredibly valuable for expanding the scope of your empire, so I like taking Imperium where I can. We're going to chill here for a couple of turns while we wait for this to get conquered. He's looking for a fight with my vassal. One more turn and then we'll be able to attack Eastwatch. We got our Wizard Tower Foundation in Thermopolis. I wouldn't mind getting another level of the Wizard Tower for the Imperium income. I think it would be good to build things like the Crypts, the Item Forge, and the Prison Cells. In particular, the Item Forge would be really useful because we have a ton of Binding Essence. So let's get the item forge up and we can start crafting some basic weapons. A rivalry has been declared on me. Okay, and we'll go to the next turn. Gareth Fisher has attacked us here. I'm wondering if we can auto-resolve this. We could. We would lose a few units. I don't think this is enough unit losses for me to care. I mean, it sucks that some of these units are pretty experienced, but in the interest of keeping, keeping things moving, I think I've spent enough time in combats with Gareth Fisher to know that I could get a really good outcome there. And instead, if I just take a few losses, I save myself real time. You gotta dole out your own mental effort, you know what I mean? Oh, nice, we got the Frostbringer. We'll take that. Let's go ahead and blast this guy. It should be an easy auto-resolve, no losses. We scavenged some more equipment. We'll take those. Gareth Fisher has lost his throne city. I think the only thing he has left now is this army over here. We are going to begin vassalizing this. I really want to raise it, but we'll vassalize it. All right, we're in the process of vassalizing a couple of cities, and we have lots of armies on their way. You don't need to hold this anymore. Orders required. Orders required. Head to the capital city. I don't even know if you can set. Can you set rally points? I don't remember if that's a thing. Okay, we now have the ability to summon vigils. Now, vigils are really cool. I actually would like to summon one. Ooh, blessed souls are cool. I'm tempted to lock this and go for paladins. I'm gonna lock the blessed soul, but I do want to get the paladin because it's it's a new unit that I've never used before. It looks really cool. Our ruler has leveled up. We can either take defensive master, which means we'll end every turn in defense mode, giving us zone of control, defense, resistance, immune to flanking, or we could take support resistance. I think I would like to get a smite. It's a potential 50 damage nuke. So let's grab defensive master. So now we never have to intentionally end in defense mode. So provoke becomes less useful for us, but thankfully that's coming from an item rather than anywhere else. So now he can be very aggressive with his attacks. We'll probably switch this. I would prefer a one-handed weapon to let him have a shield. That's a charge striking spear. The Radiant Pike gives critical hit chance disease. Burning, we've got the Frostbringer, weakened, marked, extra construct damage, Poison Blast. This looks like a magical item. I'm going to go with the Radiant Pike. I think it's pretty okay. I would like to craft him better gear if I could. Nabocles the Bulwark has leveled up. I'm also going to get him Defense Master. So no matter what he does, he'll always be in defense mode. We've got a new skill here. Grievances against players with opposing alignment. Okay. We aren't quite a Paragon of Virtue just yet. We are still working on it. Captured Gareth the Herbalist. Somebody has been posting bounties, all this stuff. Beautiful. Nothing we have to worry about just quite yet. Current status. I'm going to grab Druidic Empire because that's going to massively bump up my mana income. And then I can start to go really aggressively in like summoning things like Vigils. I'm definitely feeling constrained by the amount of casting points I have. We're under attack here by Clara the Helper and Gareth Fisher. Hopefully this is an easy auto combat. If it isn't, I will fight it manually. I don't want to lose this many units in what should be a pretty easy and straightforward battle. So I'm gonna fight this manually in order to preserve my armies. So move you over, get you a little mending on it. We need to get our health up. Just a bunch of mending touching happening right now. There we go. Loads of heals happening. Lots of cultivator links as well. And we'll go to the next turn. I do really like the cultivator. I like units that link to other units and provide, I like the idea of removing debuffs and getting extra healing passively at the start of a round. Like, I think that's a really cool mechanic. So let's get you to here. So I think I want to conjure the beacon right there on this tile, which tells me how I want to position my armies. Conjure the beacon, and there's the morale and healing. Our goal right now is to preserve our military capabilities. We'll do a little bit of shuffling. All right, I think this is a pretty good setup. We're making use of buildings. We'll get a bunch of bolstering and healing and all this sort of stuff. He can taunt and try to stun us and do everything. It doesn't matter. We will avail of his soul. We need to claim his soul. We can do big damage to him. You have been weakened. I would like to strengthen you. Let's shoot the bow. He's pretty weak. We can probably kill him. Not quite. He has steadfast, which is a problem, but we can knock him down to a pretty low amount. Let's snapshot this guy to remove his defense mode, and then we'll shoot him, or at least remove whatever he was using. Then you're going to get up and get into a defense mode on him. I'm going to put this cultivator behind you. so that you have that shield wall defensive ability. And we'll shoot a little blast. Can't quite kill him, but that's fine. We're just going to shield wall and chill. Beautiful. So if they want to take me on, they're going to have to come in deep. That was a lot more damage than I was expecting on my hero. So we're going to have to figure out how to heal him. Hopefully they don't get the kill on him this turn, because that would make it difficult. Owie. Yeah, a lot of damage. We'll get him healed, don't you worry. Alright, nice. The taunt went through. He killed him. Taunted by your own petard. I'm going to drop the Divine Beacon. It's 15 health. You can Mending Touch and do a lesser heal. I'm going to get my Leonidas. I'm going to... We could do 48 damage. However, if I do the Warrior's Fervor, we'll now do 81 damage, which is an insane amount of damage. I should have got him a better weapon a long time ago. That was definitely a mistake. I always make a lot of mistakes whenever I play this game, but I don't think it ever gets in the way of me enjoying it. I'm always just like, oh, right, I need to update, you know, updating hero weapons are really good. It's like a lesson that I've learned so many times, but I always forget something every time I play this game. And probably like a bajillion comments like, oh my God, Potato update his weapon. No! And there's going to be comments on this video. It's going to be, oh my God, he finally changed his hero's weapon. It's 100% of the time. Every single time. All right, yeah, let's blast. But just goes to show you, right? You don't have to play perfectly to beat Brutal. It probably would have been a lot easier if my hero was doing more damage, but we're getting them. I really love the Divine Beacon. I think it's a great ability. It gives you so much. The crit chance and the heal is so good. And the other thing about positive morale is that it's like extra health against things that would reduce your morale, right? It's just so good for that reason. That's why I love the Divine Beacon. All right, we're going to push forward here. I don't want to be too aggressive, but I will come in here and give you a little Mending Touch. Ooh, baby, little Mending Touch. Ooh, baby, Mending Touch. Pop him for a little damage. You actually could get up here and do a snapshot and then a regular shot. Boom. Lovely. So that's the enemy shade weakened. Definitely feel like we're getting really efficient and nice damage now, even with these sort of, I guess for lack of a better term, inefficient attacks. Man, I found a wounded. I don't know what was wrong with him, but he was a seagull. And you know, he was lying on the ground and he wouldn't move. And I brought him some food and some water. And I just gave him like a little tiny, it was just a tiny bit of water and a tiny bit of tuna. I was like, listen, buddy, you know, you're not safe here. And, you know, I was trying to make sure that like whatever was wrong with him, he wouldn't die because he had no food or water. You know what I mean? Like at least he had a fighting chance. And I left him there overnight. I used a piece of cloth and I put him in a bush, like near a bush, so that he would have a little bit of cover from the wind and he'd be safe from, you know, maybe like other things attacking him or whatever. And then when I came down this morning, he was like lying on his back with his legs in the air, and he couldn't really move his legs except like to move his toes. And I figured, man, he must have like flown into the building and like broken his back or something. Like something was wrong with this poor guy. And he wasn't a baby, but he was like he was like a juvenile seagull. And man, it's hard to look into the eyes of an animal and not know what to do to help it, and know that it's terrified of you and that it's probably going to die. There was like, by that point, like flies had started to land on him. Like, I think, and I was just thinking like, dude, like looking at this seagull, his brain was working, but his body was broke. Something was wrong with his body. And I didn't know what to do to help him. Yeah. Anyway, that kind of fucked me up today. It made me feel bad. Because I was looking at this seagull and I'm like, dude, I don't know. I wish I knew what to do to help you. You're beyond my skills. I'm sorry. Like, should I bring him inside in a cardboard box? Everything, like, my instinct is I want to take him inside and look after him. But like, they tell you, like, you know, oh, maybe you shouldn't do that because, like, you know, you might stress the bird out and make it worse, or you know, maybe its parents are nearby and trying to help him out. And then I'm like, well, damn it, like, what am I don't like just sitting here and watching this dude slowly drift, and man, it doesn't feel good. I just wish I could have done more to help. I wish I could do more to help him. He's this little seagull dude. He was a little teenager. He didn't ask to be born. You know what I mean? He's just a dude. He's just a mouth to feed. You know what I mean? Like, he woke up and he felt that instinct to survive. Same as you and me. And I felt like I feel like I failed him, and I feel like I just didn't do enough, and I don't know. Like, and then there's also like the mental, like, I don't know if I want the responsibility of looking after, like, what if he dies in my house? Now do I just put him back where I found him? Like, all that was going through my head. And I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And I just felt so lost. And this fucking poor seagull is like lying on the ground. Like, it's just broken. And I'm like, I don't know how to help you, man. Anyway, maybe want to cry a little bit. So Gareth Fisher is now my vassal. Or at least whatever remains of his empire is my vassal. So we grabbed a Retributive Sparkcaller, a Mantle of Fortune, and a Raptor Mount. That's awesome. Gareth Fisher is gone. We can spend money to gain Imperium, or we could spend mana to gain alignment. I'm going to gain the alignment because having high alignment is decent. But yeah, dude, it broke my fucking heart. He was just an animal, you know. He was trying to survive in the world just like the rest of us. And I looked into his little seagull eyes, and he looked back at me terrified, like this, you know, slightly evolved dinosaur creature just wanted to live, and I didn't know what to do to help him, and it messed me up. This is probably way too emotional for an Age of Wonders series, but listen, that's what happened in my life, so I'm going to talk about it. That's how this works. We do want to head towards Sealville, which means Iville in Irish. Although Ville technically has no meaning in Irish, as far as I'm aware. But we definitely want to get up here and take this guy out. So we've taken out Gareth Fisher. We want to take out Chaox Heaven Sent now. So I'm going to start putting together a war party on the edge of my vassal's territory. We now have access to the Paladin, which is awesome. Let's go ahead and select a new research. I think the Blessed Soul is a perfectly reasonable research for us to grab. We have the Item Forge. I would like to get the Crypts. That's worth a little bit of mana. And I also want the Prison Cells. It's worth a little bit of research, just to kind of clear up some of these Wizard Tower buildings. We got some hero levels up. Nacon and Mortadria has leveled up. Definitely, I feel like Adept of Nature works for this guy, especially because he has Blight Strikes. I think I would like to get him Withering Decay, so he inflicts decaying with his attacks. Then it'd be nice to go down this sort of ranger tree here to get him extra damage. I also like the idea of the crit chance here. Ooh, Thorn Shot is kind of cool. You have these 90% chance to inflict bleed in a radius around the enemy you attack. I think I would rather just get 10% more damage right now, so I'm going to take that. But I do like the idea of making this guy like a Blight Bow. Maybe order. I think I like the idea of like, I want to make a crossbow, and I would love to infuse it with Blight and order damage. I don't think that's a thing, so I can either do, well, what if I were to do Spirit? A sniping crossbow. I want it to be at least tier 3. Let's disenchant these raptor mounts. I'm going to disenchant most of the things that we've been given, honestly. I kind of like to make my own weapons. I think it's more fun. I do like the critical hit chance. I would like this to be a tier 3 item. So 20% crit chance. Is there anything in here that matters a lot? Not really. I mean, extra range. It's good. Giant Slayer is great for killing big targets, honestly. So like extra crit chance and Giant Slayer with the base 19 damage. We'll call this the Archon's Giant Bane. Like being able to do extra damage against large targets is honestly really useful. I got a bunch of people in my crypts. Gareth's remaining city, I'm going to remain at war with it. And the reason I want to remain war with them is because conquering free cities grants relationship boosts to free cities. Awesome. So we get the vassalage of Berkshire. This guy likes the fact that I defeated Gareth Fisher's empire. We've got another Floren has been released as a vassal. Unfortunately, I don't have a Whispering Stone. I could get one from the Court of Whispers. I think I will. I'm going to add this to Floren. So vassalage in 5 turns. We met Inquisitive Delville. So that's these guys over here. Your overlord is this guy, Brimfang. Good to note. Obelissium is ready to build a new building. Let's go for the next tier of settlement. We'll go to the next turn. My poor little scout is about to get murdered up here near Sealville. We'll just let him happen. Ain't no big deal. There is a brigand camp here we're going to need to worry about. We can capture this hidden garden to take it from him so that he doesn't get the benefits of it. All right, Virtuous Spirit is ready. So now my entire faction, or at least the Unpolluted Architects, who I'm the race keeper of, they're going to get +2 spirit resistance against spirit damage, which is effectively about a 20% increased effective health against spirit damage. When they drop below 60% of their maximum HP, they're going to ignore casualties. Now, the way that casualties work is basically as a unit takes damage, its damage output starts to go down. So let's say you have a unit with 5 models in it, okay? And it does 5 damage. If you lose 2 models, you're going to do 3 damage. With this, you would do 4. So it allows you to keep doing more damage as you take damage, and it also gives you more effective HP. So we're going to cast the Unpolluted Architects to gain the Virtuous Spirit enchantment, which you can kind of see gives them these like little clouds around them. We're going to chill here. Eastwatch is now mine. I think Eastwatch is a city I definitely could annex at some point. No big deal though. Orders required. We need to get out of here. Thermopolis is ready to build the Apex Monument. It's going to take like 10 turns, but this will count as a gold ancient wonder. So we're truly building something magical here with this. Let's build the Apex. It'll take a while. We have access to the Blessed Soul, so now we can pick a new tome. I think the tome we would like is either the Tome of Sanctuary or the Tome of Prophecies. The Tome of Sanctuary would give me anointed people, giving us even more spirit resistance and status resistance. We would get things like the Keeper's Mark, which means when we take fatal damage, they would become steadfast. So like my units would become even harder to kill, particularly my melee. We would get the higher tier Light Spirit. I think I'd like to play around with the Tome of Prophecies instead. So I'm going to go ahead and select that because it's one of the new tomes. So let's see here. Gain precognition when entering into a defense mode. We could gain Fated Projectiles or the Oracle. I'm going to go for Fated Projectiles. We've also just unlocked the ability to bind gold ancient wonders. We got the Wizard Tower. We got a mint and Oratorium. Could be good for us to get the Storehouse. This is worth a lot of mana income. I wouldn't mind getting an Academy. All right, let's switch whatever we can to farms. Not the conduits though. That's a hut and a quarry. It's a hut. It's a farm. Okay, we got a couple things switching to farm. We'd like to build at least one research post in here, so I think an Abbey's a good call. Put an Abbey right there. And then we'll get to work on the Academy when that's done, so that we can get more research. The research is going to be really important to me. This guy's ended his friendship, no big worries. Let's keep making Guardians and Shade Makers. Oh, Jesus. So Chaox has brought 3 full stacks with 1-2 tier 4 units, 4 heroes, a bunch of tier 3s, and then some spammed out militia. All right, these are high level troops. Now the auto combat's probably going to be real bad for me. Yes, so I'm going to go ahead and fight this manually so that I can get a much better outcome. And our same basic strategy is going to apply as it has in most of our other runs. Now, there is something we do need to consider, is that he has brought this, the Righteous Judge, who can do up to 84 damage in a single attack. Jesus Christ. We've got these Druids of the Cycle. Target non-hero friendly units triggers life from death. Cycle's End, which gives a chance of instantly killing an injured unit. And then restart the cycle. Life from death. When this unit kills another, its cooldowns are reset. Jesus Christ. So that's terrifying. This guy's real big, and he's got some scary spells. Mind control, etc. Yeah, we're going to be up against it here, I think. But we're gonna do our best to set ourselves up for success. That is our motto. Let me give a bless to you, a mending touch to you. Bless this guy. Can you shoot a bless down onto that guy? We do have some of these nice high tier guys. Can you mending touch yourself and zip over here and grab a link with him? So next turn we'll cast the morale booster. Okay, so the Spelljammer is a problem. We're only going to get one cast of the Divine Beacon, so we're going to have to make that work. I've got as many people packed into the one location that I can, and pretty much my entire army is going to get the morale buff now. In theory, we could get everyone in here, but we would have to find unobstructed terrain, so I'm just going to take this. It's going to be healing, it's going to be morale. It'll help us get through this. I'm going to click on my support units to see if they have any buff spells. Nope, but that'll be it. That's the beginning. So we're going to wait for him to attack. He is the attacker, of course. I'm going to slip you down here, slip you there. You slip in there, Chaplain. Give me some blesses. You could summon a Tesseract. You have a bless as well. Okay. You're my melee run at the enemy guy. So I'll have you over here ready to fight. All right, we're just ready to chill and see if they come forward. They seem to be wanting to get themselves set up. Oh, here we go. He condemned us. He ran forward with his Righteous Judge, which has now been left out in the open for us to kill. We'll get our Tesseract to begin. Do I want to shift my front line towards him? I think I do. 1, 2, and 1, and 1, 2. Should be able to get this guy killed. Got 2 more attacks at 45%. I would rather not use melee attacks if I don't have to. Perfect. So that's 1 level of strengthened across my entire army. It's a big victory right there. And then we'll go ahead into defense mode. This beacon will disappear. Some of our morale is high now. He hit us with the nice stun. Ooh, now we're getting hit with some of these negative abilities. That's okay. The enemy's approach. 25% chance to hit with you. Let's take it. Now, you get 24 damage on this guy. So 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. You're a little bit vulnerable, so let's step up. Give you the mending touch. and we'll remove your negative. We'll link you. Let's see what we can do. Can we cast a growth right there? Get us some of these vines to distract. Remember, when they die, they'll give us grace. So I'm trying to see where we can get. Okay, we can get a pretty good concentrated firepower on this guy. So 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3. And then blast. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Why don't you guys stay in your defense modes to provide the maximum possible effective health for my army. So to start the battle off with, we've killed a decaying zombie and severely damaged a militia. Did they use the restart the cycle on their own druid? I think they did. That is absolutely incredible gameplay. Let's get you some blesses. Beautiful. All right, so I lost my Tesseract. Not a big deal. These architects are crazy. What's really powerful about the architect is they actually scale throughout the game because it's based on the nature affinity level that our units have. The healing that they do with this ability here, Incarnate Restoration. For every stack of Incarnate Restoration, you get extra health and regen. And we've got 3 right now, which is kind of insane. Okay, so I'm not worried yet. We're not at the point of being worried. Oh yeah, look at that first strike. Get him. Okay, first thing we want to do is to try to restore life to any units that have been damaged. So I'm going to give him some buffs. Let me give you a Mending Touch. I may even do a Healing Prayer to get rid of some of the negative status effects. Beautiful. So that was useful. Try to undo the work of our enemies. I'm going to Archer this guy. 1, 2, 3 damage. And then hopefully we can poke him down. No, we're going to have to use a Chaplain to soften him up once more. And then we can get this kill while we hold the line. This Archer's in a rough spot. I think this Archer has a better shot on this guy. It's a question of should we use this guy to kill him? And I think we should. Because then this Archer can use his attack on something else like this. And I think that makes a little bit of sense. I'm going to move you 1 tile to the left so you get better chance to hit on this guy. 2 50% chances. We'll take that. We can get another kill. Beautiful. We can get big damage there, but no kill. I may step you back a tile to shoot this guy. This guy has charge resistance, so it's fine. You have grace. We just want to get damage on the enemies. Take the highest percentage chance to hit. There's a 90% right there. It's a 65. We just want to take the highest percentage chances so that we can optimize the outgoing damage of our units. Now, do we want to attack? The counter attack will be brutal if we attack. So I think some attacking makes sense. Like this is an insane amount of damage, but if we go defense mode, now it becomes just a normal amount of damage. Similarly, 52 damage on our unit here. Defense mode, and it goes down to 25. So that's defense mode is actually so insanely good at giving you extra health to tank through. Keeping an eye out. Okay, pretty bad debuffs on this tier 1 unit. I would be surprised if we made it out of this fight without any losses. I mean, currently as it stands, we've done really good. We don't care if this hero dies because he has the capability of coming back to life. He has resurgence at the end of the battle. So when I say we don't care if he dies, I don't mean that we want him to die. I mean that if he dies in the course of this battle, while achieving at least some limited aims, that's actually not so bad for us. He is, from the point of view of his health bar is expendable. The hero itself is not expendable. Yeah, I'm worried about this. That's just all part of it. We're starting to get strategic advantages. Okay, this hero I would love to get a little bit of healing on. He needs to be cultivated. I could summon a Tesseract here, which is the best move I have with this unit, I think, at the moment, because we can get 33 damage there. Let me bless this guy to take out any of his negatives, and then we'll try to dispel and heal him. He could potentially get some kills. If we could take this guy out, I'm going to zip around the corner, blast this guy, because then I can attack with you, which frees up this archer to take a shot now that he doesn't have anyone in melee with him. And that could let us kill this guy. Oh, you don't have an action anymore. Hold on. We definitely need to kill this entwined here. I think you might just be dead, and we might not want to waste our time and energy on him. Let's see if we can get enough damage on you. Boom, boom. Give me one more. Perfect. So now this archer is free to shoot again. And we could get this kill. I shot my own unit. That hurts. It hurts, but it's not the worst. 57 damage with you. I'll take that. Can you come up and get the kill? Yes, you can. Now, we've got one more unit to play with. I'll step you right here and shoot this guy. All right, miss. So I'd say that was a pretty efficient turn. We took out a decent number of the enemy units. We technically haven't lost anyone yet. We're going to lose this guy and possibly this guy, but he has resurgence, so he will come back. We've taken out a lot of lower tier stuff, but we have basically cut down the enemy front line. There's not a lot of their front line left. which means we're starting to get material advantages on the local level. Ouch, I was not expecting that much damage. I was expecting this death. I'm expecting this guy to die. I wasn't expecting this much damage on you. Ouch. Lots of sundering happening. All right, there's another unit. We lost a unit, but we do get grace out of that, which is like undoing enemy damage as it happens. Oof, oof. Yeah, even though we've taken out a lot of the enemy front line, they still have a lot of really strong units left. Another unit falls. Okay, that was actually a devastating turn. We lost 4 units when I was expecting to only lose 2. I haven't had a turn that devastating in a long time. Just goes to show you the sort of tactical disadvantage we're at when it comes to some of these battles. I'm going to plant this bursting wild growth here. Can you get this kill for me, please? Beautiful. That will free you up to attack. You can also bless a nerd and then give him a little mending touch. Get up here and bash this guy's head in. I'll get my Tesseract to shoot a little. So let me bless you and give you a healing prayer. Then I'll slip this guy forward with a mending touch and a link to break any negative spells you have. Then we'll hit this guy for some damage. We want to cut our way through the enemy front line so there's nothing left holding up their combat power. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. If I send you to the left here, you could get this kill. Kills are important because enemy units that are dead can't act. It's a really important concept in strategy games, is dead units can't do stuff. And so one of the most important things to do, whether it's a real-time strategy or a turn-based strategy, is often to inflict casualties. If we're looking at the status of the battle, I have a pretty good feeling about it. It's going to depend on this turn. Whether or not we win is going to depend on what the battle looks like after this turn. Now, I don't think they're going to get a lot of kills, but they have already surprised me with the amount of damage they've been able to do. So they got a kill. Unlucky. We do have grace, which really helps us in the face of losing units because it allows us to recover health when being attacked. We lost another unit. Rough. This Tesseract is going to blast him in the back. You have a bless. I'll put a bless on you. You can shoot him. You don't have a bless, so we'll just shoot with you. Perfect. There's another kill. You're a little bit wounded. I don't like that you're that wounded. We'll need to find healing. Let me move this archer out of the way so he can take a pair of shots at this guy. Low chance to hit, but I'll take them. This will let me get over here to mending touch you, and then I can use the incarnate restoration on the other guy. And then you can slip forward. What is this? Oh, it looks bad. I want to step there. The tile has red on it, which means I don't want to stand there. That's my rule. I think it's a good rule. Let's focus on these enemy heroes one at a time. Big poison blast, a couple of melee strikes, and a couple of melee strikes. Right, that's one hero down. Let's gather together with defense modes. Spirit blast, you're bleeding, attack him. Beautiful, nice critical. Now our front lines are starting to crumble a little bit in terms of their sturdiness, but we have a huge unit advantage now, I believe. Oh, big damage coming in from this tier 3 Glade Runners. Glade Runners are one of the best ranged units in the games. Like, they're super, super strong, super fun to make use of. Ouch. Would love if this guy survived. Okay, I think that was him trying to mind control. I'm not sure. He created a Umbral Mistress. I didn't even know he could do that. He inflicted insanity on our units. Come on. Okay, just a graze. Ouch. The amount of damage these guys can output is kind of scary. Goodness. Let's bless this guy and then hit him with a prayer. We will mending touch you and hit you with a prayer. Keep you nice and healthy. Let's get these Glade Runners into melee so they can't retreat and attack as easily. We get 65% chance of 3 strong hits. Beautiful, that's a kill. I think this is a melee mage. No, it's a more of a skirmisher type mage without the skirmishing. Regardless, we're going to get into melee with them and see if we can't do a big chunk of damage. Take some spirit blasts. They are vulnerable to spirit and blight, I believe. Yeah, blight weakness and spirit weakness. Let's get them up and kill them. I'll move my archers forward slightly and take a little shot. I'll get you up here, put you in a defense mode, pop this druid of the cycle, and then we keep popping them. Beautiful. So now I think victory is 100% assured now. I don't think they're going to be able to turn the battle around. It's a question of how many units are they going to be able to kill before the battle ends. And things like this, where they're flipping a unit and then killing a hero, very annoying. Very, very annoying. So the AI is in full spite mode. And if you remember, spite mode is when the AI kills your units, not because they think they can win the battle, but because they want to inflict pain on you for winning. They want you to suffer, which makes them quite human in that way. And so you have to understand that the AI is doing this. That they don't think that they can win this battle, but they think they can inflict damage upon your armies which will give them potentially a strategic advantage later. Oh my god, why am I attacking my own unit? I'm a dummy. Because I was explaining something, I didn't realize that I was attacking my own unit. I wasn't thinking about it. All right, we want to get into melee with this guy. We can do a lot of damage. Like, we do so much damage. It's actually insane. It's such a low chance to hit. We can get this kill, though. Okay, one of the enemy here... Actually, the enemies are fleeing. We'll let them flee the field. That'll have consequences for them. I'm unhappy that I lost a healer. Or that I lost a hero, rather. That annoys me. I don't mind losing, like, tier 1s and tier 2s, but... losing a hero, because now I have to resurrect him. It's going to cost me resources. I have to get him back over here. We got a couple of items here. I will take them. Crypt, Narusa the Soother. I'll resurrect her. It costs 400 mana. So you see, like, we have the resources, but it isn't cheap. So it's more of an inconvenience than a true, like, setback. But even so, an inconvenience is an inconvenience. Take our units and merge our armies. So no governor set for Oratorium. I'll put Narusa the Soother back in there. I have some spells ready to cast. I wanted to cast Covenant of the Faith on my vassals and Faithful Whispers. So Chivalton can get Covenant of the Faith. It's a small thing, but it's an extra little bit of mana. And listen, mana is mana, dude. Oratorium is ready to build a building. I'm going to go ahead and build the Academy because I want that science. I want that research capability. Oh, I don't like this. Mort Oriole has decided to come across these mountains. He's got a scary army. We definitely need to make sure that we're recruiting more military. So we can gain a Cosmic Orb. It's a tier 3. We can gain the Ring of Flanking. We could gain the Storm Orb. Or we can gain a bunch of... I'm just going to gain the money. Pop into Oratorium. I'll grab a Guardian and a Shademaker in here. In Harrington, I think I'll grab some Aspirant Knights. That's all of my cities producing military. I will cast Faithful Whispers on Berkshire. I want another city to have Faithful Whispers. I'll start casting that. I need to split up these armies. I think I have too much military power focused on this area. I need to bring some back now to defend Oratorium. So I'll definitely bring my faction leader. I'll bring this stack of high tier units. And I might even put another chaplain in there. You know what? You can have your lesser spirit. And I'll take this guy's army and merge it. So I'll send 3 stacks to the north for this fight. I'll send a fresh stack back. We need to get to Oratorium if we can. Let's catch him. Auto combat, hopefully no losses. Beautiful. Stand on that teleporter. Do we want to take on the brigand camp? It would be fun. Come on, give me an easy auto combat. No losses. Yes, no losses. Amazing. Just a bunch of experience for my units. So we got the Bouncing Sphere and we got the Bone Wyvern Mount. All right. The Band of True Sight and this as well. That'll get me a relationship boost with a bunch of the city-states that I've created, a bunch of the vassals. Beautiful. Lovely. We got the Archon's Bane. So I wanted this to go to, I think it was Nakon of Mortadria. It's a tier 4 weapon that does order and physical, but it also has a little bit of blight because of his blight capability. Now let's have a look at what else we could forge. I would like to forge some head items. Accuracy would be really nice. So I only want to forge tier 1 or tier 2 items because I don't have a huge amount of binding fragments. I have a lot of binding essence. So I'm thinking about how do I make this guy better. I think getting my helmet of accuracy could be good. I could add, like if I wanted to make him better, I think just the helmet of accuracy is fine. 20% accuracy, so we'll forge that. Then in terms of torso, I think being able to ignore enemy status resistance is actually quite good. And then I'll give him status resistance, so he's more likely to ignore enemy. And that's a tier 1 item. And then for his legs, I'll just give him... I'm just going to give him defense and resistance. And then this guy now... Oh, that's not who it's for. Oh, whoops. It was for you. So you'll get the helmet of accuracy. You'll get the warding chestplate of hexing, and then the resistant greaves. So you just get like a small buff to stats all around. So better accuracy, better status resistance, and chance to inflict statuses. Plus, you got a little bit of extra defense. So I think this is all around just going to make him slightly better. He still wants me to be his vassal. I'm going to go ahead and decline that. It is not my plan. I am quite curious though. Let's have a look. This guy is the number 2. He's top magic. I am the number 4 now, so I've climbed up. I've got the second biggest expansion, second biggest diplomacy. I'm still behind in economy, magic, and military, which goes to show you just how much the enemies will have. I definitely need to start casting more spells, but the problem is I have such a backlog of spells that I need to cast out. So I'm expecting Oratorium to go under siege. I'm actually surprised that he didn't do that. I wonder where he's heading for. Orders required. Yeah, you're heading back for defense. Make sure you build a nice road. You can clear this out and gain us a little bit of experience. Hopefully no losses. Perfect. A Staff of Resurrection. Oh, that's a really powerful one. And a Sundering Spear. Beautiful. What tier weapon are you using? You're using a tier 3. What tier weapon are you using? You're also using a tier 3. And then what tier weapon are you using? Using a tier 1. So I need to make a tier 1. I need to make a tier 3 weapon for you. Hold on. Or I need to find one for you, rather. Yeah, the problem with the current spears is they are not one-handed. So a spirit damage spear. I like the idea of the extra retaliation. Retaliator. So when you're attacked, you do more. Giant Slayer is a big one, but we can't quite afford that. We can't afford to make this tier 3 item, which will give him a significant damage buff. So we'll grab that. It'll take a couple turns and be able to improve his equipment. Right, we're going to chill outside of his territory for a turn just to get that small tick of health regeneration. And then you're going to head back to defend. We finished researching Faded Projectiles. Let's go ahead and cast that now. That's going to get us extra critical hit chance as well as Faithful on a lot of our units. We do have Faithful Whispers we can cast. We'll cast that on Floren so we get faster allegiance with them. Harrington has produced its Scholars Guild. We could build a Temple of the Prophet. It's not really what I want to do in here. But go ahead and build your mint for me, please. Obelissium has produced a Town Hall tier 3. It's got a ton of stability. Let's go for the stone walls to get the extra fortification. It just means it's harder to take out the city. You can annex another province. I don't think you can do anything except underground. Might as well grab you another farm. You do like farms, don't you, buddy? Envy's Thorn. Okay, so this guy wants to become something different. Right now, he's a dominator, but maybe Crusader would be better. Or a duelist. Sure, you could be a duelist. Go after killing enemy heroes. Right, that's enough for this turn. These aren't the most dangerous stacks that he's sending at me, so I'm not quaking in my boots just yet. All right, let's keep on bringing you guys back to a nice safe distance. You guys are going to advance now on this guy's capital city for the express purpose of killing him. We'll finish casting Faded Projectiles. It's going to have a decent amount of upkeep associated with it, but nothing too crazy. I'm going to start summoning light spirits to go stand on certain tiles inside this guy's territory. I need to keep you guys moving back the right way. We can start a new arcane research. I mean, the House of Charity is cool. It allows me to convert gold into food and production. Battle divination is kind of an interesting skill. I'll grab the House of Charity though. My domain is being invaded. That's fine. Continue fighting. It looks like he's pushed back up to the north to Oratorium, which works fine by me because we can chill for a minute while we wait to see what he does. We can be reactive on that front. On this front, we want to be proactive. This guy's actually made a bit of a mistake. There's a sort of interesting thing that happens. Oh, he's at war with Brimfang as well. There's a sort of interesting thing that happens is that the 7 tiles of a city, you can see like the center tile plus the 6 that are around it, these are protected from being attacked, but it's a literal wall in the sense that if I were to attack the city, it would pull in enemies from the outside, but if I attack units outside the city, it won't pull in stacks from inside the city. I don't even know if he'll have the option to reinforce. So this is just a great way for us to whittle away at the number of heroes and units he has for a relatively low cost. A single lesser light spirit is a completely acceptable loss here. The Restful Seer and the Fiend Slaying Great Hammer. I'm going to go ahead and disenchant this stuff. Cast ourselves another light spirit. So if this guy's sieging it down and he's going to succeed, we may as well go ahead and see if we can disjoint this divination dome and attack Heartfield. All right, House of Charity is completed in terms of research. Let's grab the Oracle, that is the Tome of Prophecies. Oratorium has produced an academy. Let's see, do we want any more defensive buildings? It'd be nice to get the blacksmith. It would increase our recruiting rate. Let's grab the blacksmith. My ruler has leveled up. I want Smite with him, so I'll take that. Also, he has another affinity here. I could become a Master of Order, get Mending Touch, or Conjure Dome of Protection. Heals allies within a 2 hex radius for plus 10 hit points. Places the Dome of Protection. Units with Zeal or Faithful gain defensive resistance and status resistance. We could go for Master of Nature. Target enemies in a 1 hex radius inflict 3 poisons and gain a chance to be immobilized. Call of the Wild summons a unit. I think I'll go for Master of Order. Mending Touch is neat, but I would rather get the Dome of Protection. I think that's kind of a cool ability. We got the Giant Slaying Flameheart. Now I was going to give that to this guy. No, it was the other guy. So there's your Giant Slaying. And we should probably make you a proper shield too. Let's see what we can do on the shield department. I mean, damage reflection, that's just good. Straight up good. Turns your health into damage. So we'll craft that. You'll love to see it. These guys attacked me. I'm hoping we can get a clean auto-resolve. Beautiful. No losses. And we can put Heartfield to siege. We'll start a siege. We will add the siege projects. We'll harass the defenders and undermine the walls. Oratorium is under siege. This is what we expected. So these guys can move a maximum of this range. So we want to stand just outside that if we can. Here, here, and here. And then next turn we should be able to deploy to protect Oratorium. Obelissium has produced some stone walls. I would like the ballista towers. The House of Charity is cool too, so we'll quickly grab that. It's worth a lot of food and production. Don't stop producing. Start producing me some paladins, actually. That would be sick. Nabocles the Bulwark is ready to level up. I think it would be good for us to pick up Experienced Leader and Logistics training. We have finished his Vengeful Shield, actually. That's worth considering. Let's also craft him a helmet. So I think +1 defense and +1 resistance for a melee fighter is reasonable. Same with his torso ability. We're going to get him +1 defense, +1 resistance. And the same for his legs. +1 defense, +1 resistance. That's a 33%, roughly speaking. It's about a 30% increase in his effective health, which is not bad. That's going to help him go a lot further. He'll take about 30 heal. He has about 30% more health now. This guy wants peace. Nope. You declared war on me. No peace. The Duke of High Ridge has fallen. Oh, I didn't see this. High Ridge could fall. Be really unfortunate if it did. All right, let's make sure Thermopolis is recruiting. Guardians and Shademakers. Harrington can produce Aspirant Knights. Those are kind of a unique unit that are actually very useful, especially when they level up and become knights. We don't have a lot of shock units that are worth building. So when we do have one that's worth building, we should build it. So I think he realized that we have an army nearby. I would like to go and save High Ridge if we could. Harrington has produced a mint. I'll quickly grab the House of Charity so we can get extra food and production from our gold. Obelissium got its House of Charity. I wouldn't mind getting the Academy. That extra research really adds up. The affinity obelisks are also insane. God, look at all that food. That is a ridiculous amount of food. All right, let's get some towers in here to protect us ourselves. High Ridge is under siege. Oratorium's ready to produce something new. It would be nice to get the happiness in here higher, so I will get the morale up. Oratorium's under siege again. That's a problem. I don't think I can defend both of these. So we got a high-risk battle. Chaox, for some reason, has come over here to fight me, which is an honestly completely baffling decision on his part, because I think I can win this battle, not on auto-resolve at all, but manual resolve for sure. Look, even auto-resolve we won. If we win on auto-resolve, we can get a much better outcome in regular resolve. But I think this episode has been long enough, and we're just about to hit the next tier of magic. So I tell you what, I'm going to save it right here. I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!